Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here with Serpent X Tech, and we are back at the Gigabyte booth, this time at the Venetian Center. And of course, we got all kinds of good products and goodies to look at. This is the MO or 0, you tell me, 34WQ-C2. Got Vanita here with me, and obviously this is a wide LCD display. Is it OLED? Excuse me, not LCD. How dare I? It looks like a 13440 by 1440 WQHD, 21.9, 34-inch, 240 hertz refresh rate, 2 display ports, 1 HDMI, and 1 3.5 millimeter jack. And then this is the big boy. Okay, I don't even know. This is what my son would love to play around with, because this is like the ultimate screen. Of course, you probably fit like 3 or 4 screens on this one, but this is the Gigabyte CO49DQ. It is a 49-inch, 32 by 9 big boy, OLED, 144 hertz. Obviously, this would probably be good for a sim setup, and it looks like best of CES 2024 by PCMR already. So good job, Gigabyte, on that. And it's probably not coming through very well as far as clarity, but the pixels and coloration on this monitor is just beautiful. Loving it. Loving it. Moving on down, we got more what looks to be their and Gigabyte's monitors have been really good. This one's the FO32U2P, and that's a 32-inch. No curved, but it does 240 hertz and has mini display port, one full-size display port. That's 2.1, and then the other one I think is just out. So like one is in and one is out. Good for gaming. Good for any of those slight MMO RPGs, maybe Diablo 4. And then it looks like we got some Counter-Strike going on here on the next monitor. This is the FO27Q3. And moving down this side, we got the Z790 Aorus Extreme X. This is that same LCD that I believe we saw at the Las Vegas Convention Center, North Hall. Then we have the 4090, which is obviously the thickest thing I've ever seen in my life. Same cooler design as we've seen from much of our favorite manufacturers, but just applied to different GPUs as they come out with new revisions. And then this power supply, and I know Gigabyte's had a rough road with power supplies, but this is the Aorus P1200 watt, 80 plus, platinum modular power supply, Japanese capacitor. It's got an LCD edge view, so this is where the LCD would be right there if you had anything flowing on there or streaming on there. And then of course they got their M.2 cooler. Now, as these drives get bigger and bigger and faster, you need some sufficient cooling. I know the motherboard built-in M.2 cooling slots can do quite a bit, but as you're pushing it even further, you might need to expand even further. The unfortunate thing is if you're going to run something like this, you're not going to be able to use the stock cover on your motherboard. And then this one right here is just showing the PCIe 4.0 Gen 4 Aorus SSD, 5,000 megabytes read, 4,400 write. And then the memory. Remember the kits that they were selling where it was like 2 of them were actual and then 2 of them were dummies? Well, manufacturers are just selling all kinds of different memory, so you can build an entire system not only out of Gigabyte components or Aorus components, but also ASUS components as well. And then the AIO, which is the Waterforce X2 360 rad. Same fan, becoming very popular, where you can kind of slide these fans, connect them together. Very modular. Here are the pinouts right here. And it looks like, what is that, 6-pin? Yeah, 6-pin connection. I know there's been a couple of hiccups with this particular setup and making sure that they're not interfering with each other. But let's look over on the other side of some GPUs. Actually, before we get to the GPUs on this side, they have the 1600 watt power supply that we're showing, fully modular. I don't think this has an LCD screen on it whatsoever. Yep, no LCD screen, but 1600 watt power supply. Then they have their Z790 Aorus Master X with no LCD over the I/O, but obviously some RGB and some goodness for your Intel generation CPUs. 20+1+2 phase VRM design, and then same thing over here, but this is the Aorus Elite X Wi-Fi 7. And then over here we got the 4070 Ti Super. Not a name I agree with, but of course the same design that we're familiar with Gigabyte, not only on the various brands, I guess you could say the Eagle or what have you, but just different or updated silicon for whatever the manufacturer like NVIDIA calls for, whether it's the 4080 Super or the 4070 Ti Super. We'll see how things go. I'm going to wait for some proper reviews to see how these things perform instead of relying on the benchmarks provided to us. These fans look a lot smaller in person for some reason. I don't know, we'll have to see here. Then we have the Aorus RX 7900 XTX Elite. Now we have a 7900 XTX already, but you know, this guy is definitely the bigger of the family members, so to speak, and it looks like we got 3 DisplayPort and then 1 HDMI again. Same thing on here, and then same thing on the 4070 Ti Super. So they're just standard procedure for what we know. And I don't see what this one is. I think Paul was looking at it earlier. And I think this is either the 7600 XT. I think this is the 7600 XT. I'm pretty sure this is. I could be wrong. Go watch Paul's video. But yeah, so again, same cooler design that we've grown to love and become familiar with, just as they update per the silicon. Now, there's plenty of all kinds of goodies around here, different laptops, different components from the Gigabyte team or the Aorus team. But I just wanted to show off this particular section and their power supplies, as that is the most interesting to me, or the ones I long after. So while we're looking at all the modern laptops that Gigabyte or Aorus is coming out with, the Aorus 15 has been a pretty popular model amongst various individuals, not only in the content creative space, but in the gaming space. And obviously it's going to have updated hardware, right? Whether it's the latest Intel CPUs coming in the future. Now this one right here only has a 13th gen, but obviously their cooling solution, just like we saw with Asus, they got to be up on their game with cooling solutions, because these CPUs and GPUs, yes, you can lower the TDP of these models, but you're going to run into the thermal barrier really fast, more often than you're going to run into the power limit. So we'll have to see how things go. But yeah, the Aorus 15 series, definitely a content creator, nice travel package, and good gamer all at the same time. Now here is the Aorus 16X. All right, so we got the latest 14th gen CPU, but then we also got a 40 series. We'll see if, I don't know if there's a model right now that has, like the 4070 Ti Super or the 4080 Super, but I'm sure we shall see those out in the ecosystem as we move forward. This one kind of threw me for a loop. There's me, and there's it trying to do AI. Pretty interesting, pretty interesting. Additional cooling, power is silenced. This is the WindForce Infinity, up to 50% thinner fan blades, 36% more cooling efficiency, 129% increased surface area. That's the biggest thing with laptops, is surface areas, and then of course thinner chassis. All right, it's got to be thin, it's got to be efficient, and it's got to be cool. Just like we talked about before, here's the all-white component, so I'm going to need one of these. This is the Gold 850, or the UD850 GM. Remember, we had some problems with the 850 in the past. Hopefully Gigabyte or Aorus has solved that. Then we have the Aero 4070 and the X670E Aorus Pro X. Obviously, there should be a 790. Yep, so that's going to be for your AMD platform, and then 790 for your Intel platform. 18 plus 1 plus 2 phase. The one that's not in front of us right now, it is actually 12 plus 2 plus 2. And then the one for AMD, the X670E Aorus Pro X, is 16 plus 2 plus 2. And then we have the same fans, right, where you can daisy chain them through that 6-pin connector that we showed previously. I think that's the connector right there. But then you also have the pinouts on the other side, so you can bridge your connection, 420, 360, whatever you need. The all-white AIO, which is not displaying anything currently at the moment. And that is the WaterForce X2 360 Ice. So Ice is white, and I don't remember what they call the black one, but I mean, if you're looking for all-white build, between Asus, Aorus, Gigabyte, they got you covered. And in here, the T-Force Delta RGB DDR5 is the white memory. That just looks super clean. Let me see if we can get a little bit closer into that guy. And just look at how beautiful that bad boy is. So good. So good. So beautiful. That's going to do it over here at the Gigabyte booth at CES 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification button to stay up to date, and catch up with me later. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Take care.